Hi everybody, I'm Brooklyn Hannah. I'm a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner. I live in the cozy town of Clear Lake, Iowa, and I'm about to actually move to Ankeny, Iowa, so that's exciting. I am going to talk to you today about the 3 types of foods chronic fatigue sufferers should avoid. So most people don't realize that what we put into our mouths actually determines how we feel on a day-to-day basis. So it's a very important puzzle piece to achieving wellness. When I was at my sickest, it took me months to realize what was making me feel like a zombie. Like, I would just take Tylenol for this and Advil for that, but I really wasn't figuring out what was causing my symptoms, what was causing my fatigue. I wasn't looking at the environment, I wasn't looking at the food I eat, and I figured out that it was crucial to remove inflammatory foods to get rid of the fatigue and all the other symptoms I was dealing with. So the first one I'm going to talk about today is gluten. So gluten is a type of protein in grains such as wheat, rye, barley, and it's also in a lot of breads, pasta, cookies, anything with flour really, and it is inflammatory for anyone. So it actually causes leaky gut. I don't know if you've seen my leaky gut video, but this talks about how it affects your immune system. It can cause a lot of issues, leaky gut can. So, and then it really runs you down. So if you have celiac disease, I don't know if you've heard of that, but it can set off an immune reaction for up to 3 to 6 months, and that's just a little tiny bit of it. So people with celiac can react with the slightest amount of gluten. So for those people or people who are sensitive to gluten, there really should be no cheating, and 100% gluten-free. People with chronic fatigue syndrome or any type of chronic illness should completely try to avoid it. And I really recommend you get tested for celiac if you haven't already, especially if you're having tons of bloating, gas, indigestion, gut issues. But even if you're not, it's a good idea to get tested because not everybody with celiac has the digestive issues. So it's just really smart to get tested with your doctor if you have not done so yet. So when I talk about gluten, what are you dreaming of? What are you thinking of that you just can't live without? Is it bread? Is it pizza? Is it pasta? Well, I have good news for you. You can get gluten-free in about anything like that. I remember when I first started eating gluten-free, I stocked up on gluten-free bread and waffles and cupcakes and all kinds of things, and I remember telling my mom, wow, I love this diet. It's really not that hard. I can eat hash browns, I can eat potatoes, I can eat even cookies, and I actually felt better, but this is before I was really, really sick. So it just goes to show that people with who aren't even sick react positively to cutting out gluten. So it really can be beneficial to anybody. Gluten is not a nutrient that everybody needs. We don't need it in our diet, nor should we even have it in our diet. So you can get gluten-free in a lot of things, but just because it's gluten-free does not mean it's healthy. So you want to choose healthier options, like obviously the fruits, vegetables, meats, eggs, things that just have the one ingredient in them. Because like I said, there's a lot of things out there that are gluten-free, but that doesn't mean they're healthy. That's how I used to think of gluten-free as. I didn't eat the healthy stuff. I just thought I was eating healthy because I was eating gluten-free, but that's really not the case. And then another recommendation I have for you, when you crave those cookies, when you crave those sweets that you normally used to eat, I recommend you make a healthy smoothie. So you can put bananas, you can put even some greens in there, and strawberries. You can put a little bit of honey in there to make it a little bit sweeter, but this really helps curb the sweet tooth. Alright, so the next thing we're going to talk about is dairy. That's number 2. And so this is anything with milk in it, basically. So they're foods made from milk, and they include ice cream, cream cheese, any kind of cheese, custard, and these are very, very inflammatory as well. So there's a protein in dairy, it's called casein, and humans find this really, really difficult to digest. Like, most people can't digest it. And then also there's an enzyme called lactase, and this enzyme digests lactose, which is the milk sugar, and a lot of people lack that, especially if you have fatigue and digestive issues. you're most likely going to lack that, and that therefore you can't digest it, and you can't even utilize the nutrients out of it. So great idea to avoid. And it commonly cross-reacts with gluten. So what I mean by that is if you are sensitive to gluten, you're most likely sensitive to dairy. So I think like 50% or more of people who are sensitive to dairy or gluten are sensitive to dairy. So you really want to watch for that. And if you're having digestive symptoms, if you're having chronic fatigue and other symptoms, it is seriously a no-brainer to give up the gluten and the dairy and just try to pick healthier options. People who give up gluten and dairy, but people who give up dairy, they're less bloated, they have clearer skin, they have less respiratory problems, because think of when you eat ice cream and you got this phlegm in your throat. That can really, trigger digestive problems and respiratory problems. So we want to decrease the mucus in our systems, obviously. And then if you're an ice cream lover like me, an alternative to ice cream is actually they make ice cream with coconut milk, and it's very delicious. They have all kinds of flavors and varieties and brands and stuff like that. So if you just go to your health food store, they may carry some of that stuff. But that's something that you should do occasionally because it does have sugar in it, so you want to watch that as well. And that brings up the next topic, which is number 3, sugar. So there's really nothing in sugar that's good for you. It converts to body fat, and it's really in about anything that tastes sweet. So if you think of cakes, cookies, donuts, even fruit. If you're going to eliminate sugar, though, think of the high sugar fruits too. You might want to eliminate like bananas, mangoes, and things like that, just because you might feel a little bit better. And sugar is also highly addictive, so it's very toxic in your body, and it creates inflammation just like gluten and dairy does. And we're just addicted to it. So we crave it, we want it, and we think we need it. We can't live without it. And it was really one of the most difficult things for me to give up when I was on my journey, just starting out trying to eliminate processed foods. My favorite food is literally ice cream. I love going to the ice cream shop, and I love that soft serve twist and the blizzards and all those kinds of things. But you get over it, and it gets easier. The longer you go without sugar, the less you crave it. And I'm serious about that. I don't even crave sugar anymore, and it's just really, really great feeling. Sugar also affects your immune system, and now this is really important because people with chronic fatigue typically have a weakened immune system because there's gut problems and stuff. So the immune cells in your immune system that are responsible for destroying pathogens like candida, yeast, parasites, it's not able to fight that stuff off, and so this makes us even sicker. For instance, 100 grams of sugar, which is really, really easy to eat or drink. If you think like of an energy drink or something, 100 grams of sugar is not that much, or not that hard to eat or drink. So that 100 grams of sugar blocks the immune system 50% for up to 5 hours. Now you can just see how bad that would be for us. And then also I want you to think about, do you have any brain symptoms? So I'm talking about decreased concentration, brain fog, anxiety, depression, anything like that, because sugar can really, really affect your brain because it has something to do with how it feeds all the pathogens in your gut, and the leaky gut, it's able to get into your brain and cause that brain fog and stuff. So I encourage you to cut the sugar and then notice, are you thinking more clear? Do you have less anxiety and depression and brain fog and things like that? And then also it may be tempting when you cut out sugar. A lot of people are like, ooh, maybe I'll just try this Splenda, this aspartame or sucralose, and those are artificial sweeteners, and those are just horrible for you. They're way worse than sugar. Do not even touch them. Don't even go near them. No, I'm just kidding, but I really don't like those. They're full of chemicals. They're just going to destroy your gut. They're not good for you, although they say that there's 0 calories and 0 carbs. I would stay away from them. They actually increase weight gain and increase your appetite. They can even cause cancer, so they're horrible for you. Stay away from those. And so just to decrease food, you need to eliminate all these inflammatory foods. This is going to make you feel better rather quickly. And it may not be easy, but it can be done. I can tell you from firsthand experience it can be done. And it's not easy at first, but it only gets easier, I promise. And also remember to substitute those unhealthy things for things that are more healthy. So even for milk, you can substitute coconut oil for cooking, and then coconut milk and almond milk you can put like in your smoothies, or you can drink it. And then for gluten-free, I mean, if you are going to cheat and have pasta or something, just make sure it's gluten-free. There's always a gluten-free alternative. But I don't recommend you really cheat when you're at first starting to get well. Just commit to getting better and have that focus, and I know you can do it. Like I said, it won't be easy, but it will be done if you put your mind to it. If you're interested in learning more about maybe what's causing your fatigue and things, you can sign up to have a free consult with me. And I actually do a food sensitivity test, which is 150 foods and food chemicals. So the test tests your reactivity to different foods, your immune system reacting to them. And this can even be foods that you wouldn't think you'd react to. Like, it can be healthy foods like vegetables and things like that. It's just a really, really cool test. So just contact me, we'll set up a free consult, and if you want to do some coaching with me, we'll go over that. And my prayer for you on this journey is, I just know that you can do it. I'm here for you. I'm always praying for you guys, and we're in it together. So just thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.